We have worked with LiveX, we worked with Actenzo in the past, and with Vivino, and we do utilise those channels. But I think also using old school methods still works quite nicely as well. We've kind of gone from kind of 2.5 million turnover to probably do 7 this year. So for us, utilising all these different sales channels and different sectors, and Slurt really, it was one of the original online wine businesses. It's about looking after the kind of 30,000 clients we acquired, and actually, to become a bit more interactive with them as well. So I think I love the online piece, it's great, but I think also getting those people in a room, trying some wine with them, tasting them and seeing what other opportunities we have. The thing that has surprised me the most is the affection that it's had amongst consumers, and that's something that's quite, I don't know, it's an add-on that I wasn't expecting to have. I think getting people to buy into the brand and have affection for it, it's not a word I would normally consider using in kind of business meetings and stuff.
So for me at Virgin Wines, I think probably key to the strategy is how do we personalise the experience? How do we make sure that the consumer gets the wine that is the right fit for them? And we're not just trying to sell product for the sake of selling product, but actually selling a product that they can connect with, that they resonate with, and doing so in a way that we can connect with them at the right time. You know, I know through many years of e-commerce, it's very easy to flood the market, very easy to flood your customer base. Certainly something I think at scale, Virgin Wines has probably been guilty of doing itself. So how do we tune that back so we're connecting with customers at the right time, at the right point in their purchase cycle, with the right product, and make sure that they're getting it at a price that's really competitive. I'm on a really big drive at the moment to really get under our data. You know, I remember a term someone said to me a long while ago, you know, data rich, insight poor, and I think that is such a crucial thing to bear in mind, that if you don't understand your customer, you don't have that insight to what they want when they want it and how they want to buy from you, you're missing the point completely. You know, it's very easy to sell any product online, not just wine, but to sell a product well that customers want to come back time and time again to buy from you is really crucial. And if you oversaturate that market, you run a real risk of losing them, I think.
We're a very member-centric company, and we all thought we knew our member base and what they wanted and how they shop and what they want from us. But it turns out actually you don't until you go and do the work and find out. Drilling into that data to understand what your consumer is all about is so important. And the groups of customers, if you like, that we've pulled away from that and the subgroups underneath that determines the way in which we now talk to them. So you'd be surprised to know, or you might not be if you're a Wine Society member, and I bet some of you are, we still send print out to people. We're an online business and we still use print. Why? Because for some of our members, print is the best way to get their attention. It's the best way for them for us to convert with them. And for some of the things that we're selling, we want you to have that tactile, stroke it, have a cup of coffee, circle the things experience. For some of our members, and we've talked a little bit earlier about younger members, clearly we're pivoting towards a younger base, and we have to behave differently. We know that half of them are very curious about alcohol. We know that half of them are very non-curious about alcohol, but they're very curious about non-alcoholic drinks. And it's how do you reach out to those? What are the appropriate ways of speaking? What are the appropriate ways of reaching? So for that, we're going more into social media.
I think good social media marketing has to start with themes or USPs, like a customer problem that you're solving for. So that could be diversity of your wine offering, it could be the prices that you've got, it could be a satisfaction guarantee, it could be that all of your wines are really critically rated. And you know, I think our approach of leading with the customer problem first, with all of the creatives you do, is really important, because you know, I think it's quite important to, like in the wine industry, we tend to really kind of evangelize and intellectualize a drink that the majority of the British public don't think that way. They just want a great deal on a great rated wine from a great region. And so when you start from the customer's perspective, you can end up with better creatives that will perform better on social media platforms. You know, our whole thing is we'll save you money. And so what we've recently started to talk about is our first order savings guarantee. So we'll save you £50 on your first order with us. That'll be a guarantee. And whether we meet that guarantee or not is kind of irrelevant. Like if we fail to meet that, then we'll say to the customer, okay, here's some store credit, come back again. But if you meet it, then obviously you've met those expectations, and that's fantastic. But it's like creative ways of getting the customer sold in on your proposition that can really offer a step change in your performance marketing.
And yeah, we've seen lots of different things we've tried. So again, like WhatsApp, we've sold a huge amount of wine in relative terms for us via WhatsApp, because I think people do look at their phones, and you can't ignore that little message on your phone. So I think we've been quite targeted in that. For that's being important. We've touched on, again, we're not a massive company, so we haven't really invested like massively into this, but there's been elements of AI that we've introduced that I've been so impressed how effective it's been when people come on and talk about, they want to know, I've got a dinner party, I'm serving this, what do you recommend? And we've got 2,500 wines on the website, and they send you towards it. And like when we first started talking about it, kind of like most basic terms, I thought, oh, that's going to come to someone in the office and they're going to have to respond. But no, the AI kind of chatbot has been a really useful tool that we've added to it. So it is about how do we engage with these people, and it is about more lifestyle. I think people want to learn more about it, and it's having more information available to them really quickly